Conditions within a contract. Example of the permissible condition with a loaned item. For instance, the owner may require a security deposit until the item is returned, or a photocopy of the borrower's identification like a driver's license. Example of another contract in a lease with these options. The lessor of a car may have a conditions for a lessee not to drive off-road. So the lessor of a house may stipulate no pets allowed as condition and so on. Some of these conditions are unlawful. So unlawful condition refer to what is prohibited by Sharia, such as sale and lease in one contract or interest-bearing penalties for late payments. Likewise, if the Sharia has stipulated a law that is binding, it may not be changed by conditions. So, for instance, inheritance. There are certain rules when it comes to the inheritance, and just because we mutually agree on these conditions that go around these rules and intentions of Sharia in these matters, we don't say that these conditions are valid at all. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever stipulates such conditions as are not in Allah's law, then these conditions are invalid even if he stipulates 100 such conditions. One of the example, very famous, is combining two contracts in one, and these combining contracts which are conditional upon each other are invalid type of arrangement. And the Prophet ﷺ said, unlawful are a sale and a loan, or two stipulations in a sale, or a sale of what you do not have. So, for example, Imam Malik said in one of the example, this means someone saying, I shall purchase your goods for such and such, and if you lend me such and such. In this case, we see where this arrangement could bring certain corruption, uncertainty, and fitna between people, because we don't know whether we are getting the good deal, whether this is all lumped together in an unethical way, whether it's fair for both parties. And of course, we should have arrangement for one specific item, finalize that, make sure that it's all clear and transparent, and then go into the next sale with the open mind and so on. Another of these similar arrangements in contemporary world is found in those hire purchases. Some of these lease arrangements when you're buying cars might have hiring and purchase in the same arrangement. And the difference here is more so in terms of invalid type of the contract where the purchase after the hiring period is deferred and the price is deferred. So we have a debt for a debt type of transaction in the second contract where both delivery and payment are deferred in the future, which as you probably know is not Sharia compliant transaction. That brings us to the end of this module. I hope you understood here that when it comes to commercial and business transactions, we have certain elements in the contracts, and in order to make this arrangement binding, legal, and really in the spirit of Sharia, we need to understand all of these different rules so that when we talk about prohibitions, we can understand that these prohibitions relate to certain business arrangement. When, for example, subject matter and consideration are the same things, like you are exchanging money for money. In that case, you will find that Sharia puts certain conditions, and therefore in Islamic finance we have some rules where in order to benefit from money in the commercial sense, we need to transfer money from monetary asset into the economic assets in order to profit. So we will in next section look at prohibitions and then into different modes of financing to understand the wisdom of Islamic finance.